everybody, how's it going? I'm going to be talking about fall fragrances since a lot of you have been asking me to make this video and it's starting to cool down now. If you hear me kind of coughing and clearing my throat, it is because I am under the weather, so please bear with me. We got feminine, masculine, and unisex on this list, and we're going to start with an Initio fragrance called Rehab. And this scent is a unisex fragrance, and it's kind of known to smell like a more luxurious version of Spice Bomb Extreme. So this one does have spices in the opening. There is lavender in this fragrance that kind of smoothens out the scent, but overall very, very gorgeous, long lasting. So like I said, if you want a high quality version of Spice Bomb Extreme, something that isn't going to be rough around the edges, I really think you're going to enjoy this fragrance. And just something to be cautious of is this is a scent that you might not smell on you, at least in the beginning, so you might overspray it and then regret it later because it's all going to hit you at once. So please just be mindful of how many sprays you do of this one, because it can just come up and attack you later on in your evening. All right, the second fragrance is another Initio, and this one here is Side Effect. And Side Effect is a sexy, boozy fragrance. I don't know if I held that upside down. I might have. But this scent smells like rum and cinnamon, and it's known to be a very, very sexy scent. It smells amazing on women. It smells amazing on men. Anybody can rock this, and to be totally honest with you, a lot of niche fragrances are marketed as unisex. So don't be surprised if you see that. This one falls straight down the middle. And like my sister has said several times, it smells like the one night stand you'll never forget. So this definitely kind of gives that rough, sexy edge. You know what I mean? If that's kind of what you're going for, if you like to go to bars and clubs and you want a fragrance that stands out, then this is a great one. Now I'll put all the names of the fragrances, samples, and global shipping. All of those links will be in the description to help you save money and if you want to support the channel. But please just buy where you're comfortable, all right? So we got Side Effect by Initio. We're going to go down here to a very popular MFK fragrance called Grand Soir. So this scent is a vanilla amber fragrance, and it's very warm, very cuddly, a fragrance that smells amazing if you dress it down, but it also smells really good if you're dressed up and you're going to a black tie event, a wedding. Another unisex fragrance. A place I would kind of stay away from using this scent though is in a work environment, just because, and I know it still will work for the fall because this video is about fall fragrances, but some people find this a bit too heavy and dense in the office. So just be cautious with that. But like I said, if you want to wear it with a sweater and you're going out for like a evening stroll or something, going to a coffee shop, going to a wedding, black tie event, it's going to smell really, really good. I've gotten a lot of compliments when I wore this fragrance. I hardly wear it as much anymore because there's other things that supersede it in my eyes, but I did get a ton of compliments every single time I wore Grand Soir, at nighttime specifically. I did test it in the daytime, and that's a no-go. It was a no-go because it was sunny. All right, the fourth one, it'd be a shame to not put it on the list. It's Baccarat Rouge by Maison Francis Kurkdjian, all right? So this fragrance gets a lot of hate because it's super popular, and I get it. When things are popular, it forms polarizing opinions. But I will put it on this list because for the most part, this is a fragrance that's popular for a reason. A lot of people want to get their nose on this, and a lot of people wear it because it's a very likable, sweet scent. It smells like sweet cotton candy. And if you're somebody that really wants that delicious sort of scent trail, you won't be disappointed with Baccarat Rouge. Now, like Grand Soir and like the other three that I've mentioned, this also is a unisex fragrance. It does go a little bit more on the feminine side, but honestly, I know that there's actually a few NBA players and a lot of guys that use this as their signature scent. In fact, they like to kind of mix it with other colognes and kind of layer it to give a unique sort of smell. So don't hesitate giving this one a shot because it is pretty sexy to the feminine nose. I'm not gonna lie, all right? All right, so we got Baccarat Rouge. 540, let me put you in here. The next fragrance, Oud Symphony by Precious Liquid, all right? Now this fragrance smells like passion fruit, black currant, there's rum, and there is oud in the base of this fragrance. And thankfully for me, it's an oud scent that I enjoy. For the most part, a lot of oud fragrances really put me off, but this is one that my nose wants to just keep smelling over and over and over again. I really do love it when my girlfriend wears this. And there is not a dent in this bottle because it's actually her bottle at my place. She has her own bottle and her own travel atomizers, so she is going through those first before she touches this one. But this actually is a unisex fragrance as well. So there have been some guys that have given me feedback on their opinions of this fragrance, and they've been telling me that it is a showstopper. Now, mind you, this is polarizing because oud. It does have oud. But for the people that really appreciate niche fragrances and want to wear something that's going to stand out, but at the same time be mass appealing, then Oud Symphony does that, all right? And I'm talking about when you're going out in public and other people smelling you, not so much you being the wearer of the fragrance, all right? So this is a scent that, because of that fruity nuance, that passion fruit is very seductive. And on top of that, it has that rum to kind of toughen up this fragrance. It just smells really, really good. And just be careful with the trigger though, because this scent, it can fill the room if you go a bit too much. So a couple sprays of this, and trust me, you'll be fine for the night. Spray it on your clothes. It'll last even longer, all right? Okay, next up is Lamar by Kajal Perfumes. This fragrance is a sweet pineapple scent. And like I've said in many videos before, if you like Baccarat Rouge 540, but you find it a bit too overworn for your taste, then swing over to this fragrance, because instead of sweet cotton candy, you're getting sweet pineapple. And the pineapple in this is very seductive, very delicious. It smells like, it kind of makes my mouth water when I smell it. Another unisex fragrance, by the way. Some people find it a little bit more feminine because it's more fruity, but there have been a lot of guys that have bought this and just love it because, again, it's one of those showstopper fragrances, especially for men, because you're not going to smell this on dudes. And I'm not saying that it's because it's too feminine, but because they're not bold enough to try something like this for the most part. A majority of them, you know, they want to stick to the typical fresh and cleans, and a lot of them smell like just every other guy. But this is a scent that on a guy's skin, you have to remember, skin chemistry is a big thing. It smells totally different than on a woman. So it does have that sweetness, and this does get a bunch of head-turning reactions. It lingers in the room. It has a great scent trail. We're talking over 10 hours of performance. And my favorite fragrance from the house of Kajal Perfumes. All right, next is gonna be Layton by Parfums de Marly. Now, I've talked about this time and time again. Used to be one of my favorite fragrances, but I don't wear it as much anymore just because there's other things that I like better. But Layton is one of those scents that you know when you wear it and you go out that you are going to smell amazing, all right? A lot of people kind of knock on this fragrance in the fragrance community, calling it a designer scent in a niche bottle. And I get where they're coming from, but I think, you know, wearing a fragrance that has mass appeal doesn't automatically mean it's a basic designer scent, because obviously this has, it's a top quality, like it's a high quality sort of fragrance, you know, and when you're wearing this in a room filled with people just wearing your standard designer fragrances, it definitely stands out and it gets attention. So if that is your end goal, if you're going to be going to parties, or if you want something that nobody else is going to be wearing because they do not know niche fragrances, period, then Layton is just such an easy buy. Whenever people ask me, what should I buy from Parfums de Marly, and they want something slightly more on the masculine side, I obviously go for Layton, just because you know that it does the job. It's not a challenging fragrance, but it just has that sex appeal that you cannot deny to the feminine nose. And by the way, ladies, if you're interested in trying this, I highly, highly suggest it. I have gotten compliments from both women and men wearing Layton. They have no idea that it's more of a masculine scent because, like I said, skin chemistry is a big thing. And this smells like apple, cardamom, and vanilla. You know what I mean? So it just totally depends on how your skin chemistry plays with this fragrance. And it smells like, I mean, it performs really well. We're talking over 8 hours, and it lasts, especially on clothes. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. This is a 4.2 ounce bottle. All right. Next is going to be, I will talk about it because we are talking about Parfums de Marly. Kind of like how we've been having duplicate houses in this video. Let me make sure that it's still running. Okay. Ooh. Sometimes like this camera just, it cuts me off. But my favorite offering from Parfums de Marly is Carlisle. And yes, this is a unisex offering. And a lot of people always ask me, like, should I buy Carlisle or should I buy Layton? And I for the most part, if they're just new to fragrances, I always say Layton, because it's not a challenging fragrance. But for all of you that kind of already have experience with niche fragrances, then Carlisle is easily the way to go. I haven't touched my bottle of Layton or worn Layton ever since Carlisle came into the picture, because this is such a complex, unique fragrance. You know how I even called Layton unique specifically when it comes to like public settings, okay? I'm not talking about online and just in the fragrance community, right? So with Carlisle, this is a fragrance that nobody has smelled at like Sephora, Macy's, Ulta, for the general public. It's not a scent that they are used to. You know what I'm saying? It's a fragrance that always draws attention in a very sexy, dark way. I find this to be a mysterious, alluring, seductive type of fragrance. And it really is something that I always get questions on, all right? So it does kind of have a bit of this medicinal apple opening, right? But then for some reason in that dry down, it just goes in a more Middle Eastern sort of fragrance direction, which is what kind of brings the uniqueness to the scent. Excuse me. Oh man, I hope that I'm not going to be coughing throughout this video. But so beautiful. So beautiful. I always recommend this scent to people that are bold and confident, but they don't do too much. All right. This was a fragrance in a video that I made called I Don't Chase, I Attract, you know? So like if you're looking for that type of vibe, then Carlisle is the way to go. It's just like a soft spoken confidence. You don't need to do too much to show people that you got it going on. You just do, like it oozes off of you. You know what I'm saying? So Carlisle is that amazing fragrance. All right. Now, this is going to be an interesting fragrance in the lineup here. It's Molecule 01 by Eccentric Molecules. And I have to put it on this list just because not only does it help your fragrance last longer, but this by itself smells amazing and very addictive. On my skin, it's fresh, it's clean. Somebody did say that it smelled clean and addictive, which is why you hear me use that description over and over again. But it's ISO-E Super, so it smells different on everybody. There are some people that hate this fragrance because they smell like rust and copper, and there's other people that love it because they smell like fresh laundry. So it totally depends on your skin chemistry. It is a gamble, but if it smells good on you, you are going to love it. Now, what I love about Molecule 01 as well is that this is a fragrance that really starts popping off the moment that you get active. If you're just kind of lounging around, it's gonna be very close to your skin. You might not smell it. Other people may or may not smell it on you, but the second you're kind of walking around, running, if you're working out, if you're out in the sun, like it just starts to push off and it smells so good. It's very like hard to explain exactly what it smells like because it varies from person to person. But definitely one of my favorite niche fragrances. Actually, my favorite niche scent that's under $100, hands down. Molecule 01, Eccentric Molecules. All right, we're gonna kick it with a lovely feminine fragrance here. Cassili by Parfums de Marly. All right, this one definitely did a number on me. When my girlfriend wore this, I just could not get enough of it. Now, it does kind of open a bit fruity, like a bit peachy, in my opinion. Now, there is plum. I don't think there's actually peach in this fragrance, but that's what it smelled like to me. You know, I was like, oh, wow, this smells pretty good. It did have a little bit of this powdery touch that I wasn't the biggest fan of in the opening, just a little bit of it. It dies down fairly quick, but This scent transforms from the second you throw it on all the way till it falls off your skin. Because when she first sprayed this, I was like, okay, yeah, I like that. But in the dry down, like a couple hours later, because I smelled it on her, like, well, she wore it a few times, but then one time she wore this 2 hours before I saw her, and I thought she was wearing Angel Share by Kilian, which was very interesting. And that is a boozy cinnamon roll type of scent. I'm not saying this smells like a cinnamon roll, all right? But then I thought, I could have swore she was wearing Angel Share, and I just couldn't stop smelling her. I'm like, damn, you smell so good, right? And she's like, oh, it's the new fragrance, it's Cassili, all right? So this scent takes you on a journey. It does have vanilla in the dry down. I believe there's tonka bean. I might be mistaken with that. But another great fragrance that smells good depending on your skin chemistry. But you know what? Even when I sprayed this in my room, just like in the air, I still really loved it when I came back into my room. But it does kind of go from this fruity, slightly powdery scent to a sweet, delicious sort of like, let me get my nose on that again type of fragrance. Now, this is a scent that doesn't really push, it doesn't fill the room, but I think it's perfect, especially if you kind of like to go on dates and go on, you know, watch movies and stuff like that, Netflix and chill with your partner, like where it's intimate enough, but it's not going to overwhelm them and choke them out. But definitely from like half an arm's length to an arm's length, it has that sort of projection. So intimate projection, but not a skin scent completely. All right. Now, another unisex fragrance that does go a little bit more on the feminine side is Intense Cafe by Montal. This is a coffee fragrance that has rose in it. Honestly, I should flip that. This is a rose fragrance that has coffee, but not to worry. The rose here is not mature at all. It smells really good. This is a fragrance that has gotten me so many nose to the neck type of reactions. Whenever I wear this with a sweater and when it's gloomy outside and people hug me, they are just hugging me for a long time because they're like, oh my God, you smell so good. There's just something absolutely delicious about this fragrance. It's not a gourmand by any means, but it is something, I think that it's the coffee that makes people just want to keep coming back, that makes it a very addictive sort of smell. So the rose that I get here is more of like rose petal type of vibes. This is a little bit of a synthetic fragrance, but it smells so good in cold weather. So Intense Cafe by Montal. We're talking over 12 hours of performance. That's just something Montal scents are known for. All right. Oh man, I can't not talk about this one. Naxxos by Sershoff. Excellent fragrance. It's a honey tobacco scent. Now the tobacco plays second fiddle to the honey. This is also, I don't know if I already said it, it feels like deja vu, but unisex fragrance. And this scent right here was my favorite tobacco fragrance for a long time. But the thing is, it's not like tobacco because the honey shows out a bit more. But still, I'm going to say it's my favorite tobacco because there is tobacco in this scent. This, like I've said before, is a badass mafia type of fragrance. If that's your vibe, like I'll just keep it short and sweet with Naxxos. If you want a badass, like suave mafia fragrance, then just get Naxxos pretty much. All right. I think this will be the last niche one that I'm talking about because I've just been talking about niche fragrances. But Sultan by Royal Crown is a bougie ass fragrance for bougie people. Again, another unisex fragrance. And this kind of smells like a leveled up version of By the Fireplace by Replica. So if you love that scent and you're willing to put down more money for a more elegant, high-class version of it, then you can go for Sultan. Now, I'm not saying they smell exactly the same, but there is a sort of fiery smell in this fragrance that was reminiscent to me of that scent. But there's also dates in this, which is like if you've ever tried dates before, which kind of gave it like a unique sort of smell. And the dry down has a touch of incense, but the incense is not going to remind you of church, all right? Typically with those scents, I stay far away from it, but there's just enough incense to make this tasteful, to make it long lasting, to make it something that has a very nice scent trail. So boom, bougie, Sultan, Royal Crown. All right, let's kick it to some, oh shit, did I drop it? Nope. Let's kick it to some designer fragrances over here. But this is a private blend, but I can't not talk about Tobacco Veneer by Tom Ford. So this is a fragrance that gets so much love. And you know how I said in the beginning that people in general don't know niche fragrances, specifically with the general public, right? So like this is a scent that if anyone's kind of looked at perfumes or smelled things around Nordstrom and stuff like that, they'll come across Tom Ford, and Tobacco Vanille is a fan favorite. So to them, this is a very unique sort of scent, you know? So this still has the mass appeal. It does have popularity, and it's long lasting. In my opinion, it doesn't really smell like tobacco and vanilla. It smells more like a chai latte and gingerbread cookies, more of the gingerbread cookies. So it's a holiday sweet type of fragrance, but we are talking about over 12 hours of performance. Please be recording. Sweet. But unisex, anybody can wear it. All right. Now, a more feminine offering from Tom Ford is Black Orchid. Actually, well, you know what? This is marketed as a perfume for women, but again, so unisex. There have been so many guys that have messaged me saying, I wore Black Orchid for the first time and I can't believe it's only marketed to women because I love it. It smells very unisex. It's just one of those things, right? Kind of like Light Blue Intense for women. Like guys can wear it, no problem, right? So this scent right here isn't my personal favorite, but I'm putting it on this list because this list isn't about my favorites. It's about what works really well in the fall and what's gotten, you know, what lasts really long, what still has the mass appeal and the compliment factor, and it still can, you know, cut through the cold and give you the performance that you want. Oh, yeah. So this has florals in the opening. There is some gardenia, some white florals. There's a chocolatiness to this fragrance, and there's kind of other florals to it. Now, I'm not going to lie, this one sort of kind of gives me a headache, just because I did smell this on somebody in the daytime, and I was like, oh my God. So it was not good at all. But again, fall weather, this thing is just, it's dense enough. You know what I mean? And it smells pretty nice. It smells pretty nice. Not my favorite, but we are talking about over 8-9 hours of performance with Black Orchid by Tom Ford. Now, real fast, just to kind of wrap up the Tom Fords, I have to put Ombre Leather on this list, all right? Now, this goes out to anybody that just loves leather fragrances and you want it to be wearable. I haven't tried the parfum version of this fragrance yet, but once I do, I will be doing a full review on it, but leathery, wearable scent. That's all I have to say about it. If you have a leather jacket or if you kind of like going with that that whole like all black sort of outfit, if you want a badass fragrance, then boom, you're set. Guys, girls, whoever it is, you will rock the shit out of that fragrance. Okay, next we've got Pie by Givenchy, similar to Black Orchid by Tom Ford, where this is a scent marketed to men but smells good on everybody. All right, it's a sneaky unisex fragrance here, and Pie has a chokehold on so many people. So many people. It's this powdery vanilla sort of scent that is just so indulgent. All right, I didn't get the love for this fragrance the first few times that I wore it, but after like the 6th, 7th time, I was like, holy shit, I see where everybody's coming from. So this scent right here is very intimate, but at the same time, it lasts for a pretty good amount of time. Like I have smelled Pie on me after 10 hours, which is crazy. I don't find it to be a skin scent, but it's not a fragrance that's gonna fill the room. You know what I'm saying? All right, I think, you know, I'll do a couple more. We'll do a couple more, all right? Excuse me. Versace Crystal Noir is a very popular fragrance that a lot of women gravitate to, and I've smelled this all seasons, majority of occasions whenever women are wearing perfume. And to me, this is best suited when it's fall or it's gloomy outside, all right? So this kind of has an appley sort of smell. Yeah, it's like a more like a sophisticated type of fragrance, something you want to show out in. The dry down isn't so like vanilla. I get actually a touch of vanilla with this fragrance. I'm not sure if vanilla is like a note in this scent, but it does have a touch of sweetness in the dry down, and it smells really good. But please just be cautious wearing this in really close environments. This can choke people out, all right? So be careful with that. But black tie events, weddings, you're going to I keep saying coffee shop, but you know what I mean? Like it'll warm you up, but still smell like sophisticated and classy, if you know what I'm going for. All right, and the last fragrance I'll talk about is Spice Bomb Extreme by Viktor and Rolf. I really, really do love this scent, and I think it's perfect because I started this video with Rehab, and I'm going to end it with Spice Bomb Extreme. I actually prefer this fragrance because I like the kick that it gives. So in the opening, there is some caraway. Some people think that it smells like cumin, and they're kind of put off by the opening of this fragrance, but just let it sit and develop, and it smells like a gorgeous tobacco vanilla fragrance. This is honestly kind of what I thought Tobacco Vanilla by Tom Ford would smell like. It is a little bit rough around the edges, and this is more of a masculine fragrance, but again, ladies, don't be afraid. I've worn this, like there's actually been other girls that I've sprayed this on, and it does not smell the same as it does on a guy. And to be honest, guys can't even tell that it's Spice Bomb Extreme, that it's a guy's cologne. So don't worry about people in the comments saying, oh, I would never want my girlfriend to wear that, blah, blah, blah. It'll go right over their heads when they actually smell it on a girl, because it doesn't smell like a dude's scent, right? So this does go very sweet, not super sweet, but just sweet enough. And I've gotten nonstop compliments from men, from women, people's noses in my neck, all that sort of stuff whenever I've thrown on Spice Bomb Extreme. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Again, the names of the fragrances, discount site links for global shipping, and samples will be in the description to help you save some money and if you want to support the channel. But of course, please buy where you're comfortable. All right, have a great day. See you in the next video. Bye.